Boom, what is up everybody? Welcome back to Mount Mograph and Summit 41, advanced character rigging inside After Effects. I don't know what that pop-out is. And we'll be going through Illustrator, just doing a short little character setup I'll show you how to do. And then we'll go on and bring it into After Effects and make use of Duik, or Duik, I'm not sure how you say it. It's a French plugin or script that's totally free to download. Click the video description and there's a link to it that you can go and install into your script UI folders on your computer, and I'll be showing you a really unique setup to get your character to do all kinds of crazy stuff. So check out this video and then we'll go make it. Alright, so there it is, and basically I just put together a whole bunch of random movement. I didn't spend time on the actual animation portion because this is a rigging video. So I just wanted to show you guys the actual flexibility of the rig we'll be making. And you guys can take this way farther. I just threw together a really quick little character and rigged it up, and I'll be showing you exactly how to do the whole rig today. So yeah, I mean, like, check that out. That was super easy, and as you can see, as we scrub through it, the arms will always stay the right length. Like, they won't get distorted with all this animation, which was kind of one of the hang-ups of using just the puppet tool, and this way is going to be a lot easier. So anyway, let's just jump into Illustrator and get this dude made. So I'm going to open up Illustrator here, and I'm going to be using the Creative Cloud version. This should pretty much work for any version, I'd think. But just throwing it out there. So anyway, with Illustrator open, let's do Command N and create a new composition, and I will be doing 1920 by 1080. First thing I'm going to do is just go into my color mode over here and change it to RGB color, so we get a wider range of colors instead of CMYK, which is for print. And let's just start by illustrating a really simple character. And if you guys know how to set it up, just jump ahead in the video. And if you don't know how to set it up, I'll try to go quick through this. So I'm just going to create a quick little head here, kind of oval shape will work great, and then make a very simple nose as well, just right in the middle of this face. And we're going to work in layers today, which is very key to making a good rig. It's all about like spending the time to set it up, and you'll get a better end product. So this illustration probably is not going to look that nice, so I would recommend not making the same thing, and kind of making your own take on everything, because I'm just going to try to do this kind of quick, and I always struggle talking and illustrating stuff. It always goes so bad. So anyway, I'm just going to make two eyes over here, and what this layer is going to be called is called eyes back, or EU's back. I'm not going to worry about it. And then I'm going to create another layer, and I'm going to call this layer pupils. So on this pupil layer, let's just make some quick little eyes right here, just any color you feel like making, and we'll call that good. I might actually just change some of these colors in here. I got some goofy stuff going on, which is pretty typical for my videos. So let's just give him some blue eyes. He looks kind of creepy. Yeah, I'm actually just going to get rid of this nose. I don't know what that's there for even. So maybe I'll substitute that with a red nose. And there we go. Not as creepy looking. Looks like a little baby. So now we got our eyes, eye back set up, our pupils, and let's create one more layer. So it's important to work in layers just for ease of importing it into After Effects. So in this case, I'm going to say he has a hat on. So you can call this layer hat, you can do hair, you can do whatever you want. I'm just going to keep it nice and simple. So I will draw a very wonderful hat on top of his head. And then from there, we'll just jump and create his torso. So I'm going to call that good right there. Maybe do one of these, just simple junk to make a nice looking character, and by nice I mean okay. So let's lock all these layers and create a new layer, and call this layer torso. So on this torso layer, let's just grab a rectangle and just keep a nice simple illustration. You can obviously embellish this as much as you like, but I'll just maybe use the same green as his hat, and then maybe make like a little tie or something. And once you learn this technique, feel free to use it for anything. It's pretty awesome, and it's pretty powerful as well. You can create some really nice animations. And obviously spend more time creating and designing your character instead of trying to throw this together like this. So we have a basic torso set up. One more thing I'm going to do is just create kind of like the bottom part of his pants. So for different kind of character illustrations, there's obviously different ways to rig it. I'm just kind of giving you a generic one. So if you guys end up liking this video and would like to see more cool animation stuff, we're just getting into it a little bit more than we did in other videos. Leave me a like, drop me a comment, and I'll keep the videos coming. I have some other really cool techniques for character animation I can show you that could be pretty fun potentially. So anyway, we have this really basic illustration, and we have a torso layer. So let's lock this torso layer and create another new layer. And on this layer, let's start by first creating like a shoulder joint. So I have found that the easiest way for me to do this is to create markers for where the shoulders will be, and I'll show you exactly what I mean in a second. So let's grab the circle and do Command C, Command F to paste it in place, and then grab a rectangle tool, and we're going to create the rest of his arm. So I'm just going to make this this diameter of the sphere and try to line it up properly so that looks good, and it's right in the middle of the sphere. It should lock into place. And then I'll grab the sphere and the rectangle and group these together, or unite them. So if I was to drag this out, I still have my original circle there, and this is just going to be the actual arm. So I'll grab the same green color as the shirt, and then just over here in my color, I'm going to do hue, saturation, and brightness as the setting, and I'm just going to turn my brightness up a little bit just so there's some different looks to it. So then I'll do Shift Command back bracket to place it behind my little blue circle, and the blue circle is going to become our marker for the rest of the video when we actually get into the joints. So let me just create an arm here, and I will pick the same color as his skin, Shift Command back bracket to send it to the back. And let's see, sorry, I kept looking at my keyboard, I can't really see it over this mic. And then I'll just create a quick little hand here, just like that, and we'll call that good. That looks so ridiculous, but it'll turn out awesome. So anyway, we have this arm here. I'm going to call this layer front arm, so just FA1, I guess that works. And then since all my other layers are locked, I can just highlight with my selection marquee all of that, and then just go over here and do duplicate FA1, and so that's FA1 copy, and I'm going to actually call this layer BA1, so back arm 1. And so on this back arm 1 layer, I'm just going to drag it over here. So we actually, this is going to be behind the character, but I'm going to keep this marker just right in the front over here. So just drag it over a little bit, grab this green color, go to your hue, saturation, and brightness, and actually just make it a little bit darker because this will be in the back of the character. So there'll be like kind of that shadow. So now with that set up, let's just create some legs here. So I'm going to lock those two layers and just do a new layer, and actually place this beneath my torso layer. I can't even speak today. And then I'll create another ellipse right here, another circle, and make it the same color as my other markers. And I'm going to put this just right at his hip, because we're going to want it, we're going to use these to actually make it. Here, let me hide these arms here. We're going to use these to actually reference where the leg is going to bend, and you'll end up with a lot better animation if you work like this, as you'll see when we get a little bit more into the video. So I'm going to set it right about there, and then actually unlock my torso layer, and just drag this down a little bit. So I'll just drag this out. I, of course, had to have green on that layer. So I'll just drag this out, something like that. So it's a little bit uneven on this side, but that'll be fine because that's how hips would work. So I'm going to lock that torso layer and actually drag my leg layer above it, and then just get it kind of lined up with the back of the torso. I'm going to try to get my words together for you guys, and let's just create another leg here, or not another one, but we'll create another limb, the same diameter of our sphere. Duplicate our sphere, so Command C, Command F to paste in place, grab the leg, and then group them together, and then Shift Command back bracket to send them to the back, and then just pick the same color as the pants, and we'll still have our marker there. So with that set up, we're looking pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is actually just grab these bottom ones here and drag them down so he has some nice lanky legs, which will be fun to animate. And then maybe also give it a little bit different shape. Something like that looks cool. And then I'll just create a really simple foot right here and give it a, I don't know what color, some red shoes, as if this guy could look better. So he looks pretty amazing. And now I'm just going to create another point on my shoe here just to give it a better shape. And that still doesn't look so good, but we'll roll with it. So we got this wonderful character set up. Let's name this layer front leg. And now do Command A to select everything on this layer. And then go to duplicate front leg, and I'm going to call this back leg. So I just called it back, but that's going to be fine. So I'll drag this back leg behind my torso and then just drag it over and try to line it up where the blue will be. I'm grabbing the wrong thing. I want to grab the back leg. There we go. So Command A and then just drag it over, and you want to get this the blue circle or the circle outline to kind of line up with the bottom part of his torso here. So that should be fine. And then I will just grab this leg here and just make it a little bit darker with the brightness. Man, I have never stumbled over my words as much as I am right now. So that looks all pretty good. And now we have this wonderful character. So I'm going to drag this back arm beneath my torso layer. So it's hidden, but we don't have to worry about it. And then I'm actually going to hide the torso layer and unlock all the layers. So now what I'm going to do is create one more layer and drag it above all my other stuff. And I'm going to call this layer markers in all capitals because I can. So then I'm going to grab all these little blue icons here and just drag them into my marker layer. So that looks good. I need to get this bottom one, and then I need to get this other leg. So now they're all on their own layer, and we'll be using those as references for when we actually get into rigging. So there is our wonderful character all set up and ready to go. And with that all set up, let's do Shift Command S to save it. I'm going to save it to my desktop just as character. And let's jump on over into After Effects. This little task launcher I brought up is called Alfred. It's free to download if you want to check out the video description. I like it because it keeps my menu bar nice and clean. So anyway, I'll just wait for After Effects to open. At this point, I hope you have downloaded the Duik or Duik. It always pops up with that error, which is annoying. Anyway, once you have installed it, it's going to be available in your window just like any other script, and it comes with this interface that I've just docked over here for our video. So with that docked, there are a couple different things you can go through, and none of them have been too helpful to me, except not ripping on the guy, but the only one I've really enjoyed is the rigging. There's also a calculator in here, and I don't know if this is finished or what, or if the guy's just French, but firmer. There's still some weird language stuff going on in here, but it will work great for our purposes. So let's first import this new character into our project here. So the important thing is to import as composition, retain layer sizes, select that and say open. So let's double click our character, and there is the guy we just made. So he's pretty amazing. And what we're going to do, I wish I had more screen room for you guys, but we'll try to work around that. So I have it set to the resolution of 1/3 of it. You can set it up to full, but I thought it would just run a little easier once we actually get into it with 1/3. So it's going to look a little pixelated, but don't worry about that. So first what we're going to do is grab our marker layer and go over to mode and set this to multiply so we can see beneath it. And then I'm also going to do Command Y on my keyboard to create a new background. I'm just going to make it white, and I'm going to set this beneath all my layers so I can really see what's going on. I'm going to lock this layer and go and click this little shy button here. Click that and then click the shy button if it's not already selected. So that should be pretty good. And now I can actually right click and just go to hide this, and I can set this mode. I can go hide that. The only thing I really want right now is the parents, and you'll see why as we get into it. So now I have a lot more space to work with. So let's zoom in and actually first lock our markers layer as well, just so we can't click it and move it around like that. So how this works is, How can I explain this the best? So first, let's start by grabbing our front arm, so this FA1, and doing Command P on your keyboard or selecting your puppet tool. So I have my expansion set to 1 and my triangle set to 551, and basically click in the middle of your marker, and that'll be the middle of the shoulder. So that is going to create a pin. Next, go and click the middle of your arm, just like you would normally rig a puppet, and then click at the wrist. And so you can do more than that if you'd like, but I'm gonna just leave it with that should be good. So let me just make a little bit more room here. So the important thing when you're using doik or doik is to name all your puppet pins that correspond to the layer. So in our case, this is going to be front arm 1, and that's going to be the shoulder pin. And then you're going to click here and front arm 2 for the middle pin, and then front arm 3. You can name these more descriptive, but for how long we're going to be using them, it doesn't really matter. So on this shoulder pin, let's go over into our doik and make sure you're on your rigging screen, and we're going to click this option called bone. So it's going to create a bone on the puppet pin. So when you click this, you're going to get a red square that pops up. So let me just hide these markers for a second. So we're now going to have a red shape layer that's popped up there. So what this red shape layer will do is actually control the puppet pin that we made on this character. And that's going to be an integral part of the doik setup. So now let's go to our second one, and you'll also see that it's added an expression onto our puppet pin, which is part of this interface. So let's go back into our puppet pins here and select our second one. And actually, if I bring up, here we go. So now you'll see that there's an expression on it. I just wanted to show you. So there's red there. So I'll actually leave this window up just so we can see what's going on. So let's select this FA2 and click bones again. So that'll create a second bone, pops up, and it's turned red, so we know it's there. And then we'll do FA3. So if you've ever worked with any other kind of rigging in like Cinema 4D or something, you know that this point would affect this point would affect this point. So your bottom wrist point would obviously be connected to the elbow, and then the elbow would be connected to the shoulder. So that means if I rotate this shoulder joint, which is FA1, if I rotate it, it's going to rotate the rest of the arms just like this, and then obviously the wrist or the elbow would rotate the wrist. So you already have that kind of animation set up. So we can take this a step farther. So let's first we're going to click this option called controller. So it's going to create a null right where our point is. So now we have a null there. So what this is going to do is originally nothing. I can move this around and nothing's going to happen. So one of the sneaky things with doik is if you select the bottom joint first, so that's going to be FA3, hold command and select FA2, so you're creating a chain, and then we select the shoulder, we're saying, okay, we want all these layers in that order to be affected by the controller. So the controller you click last. So it's going to be FA3, FA2, FA1, and then the controller. And then you're going to come over here and click this option called IK. And that's going to create what's called an IK chain. So if you select your controller here, we've seen that if I do E, double click E, we'll see that all these expressions have been added to our controller. So, and we also get all these options here. So now when I move my controller, no matter where I drag it, the bottom joint is going to follow it, and it also bends. So this is the basis for our entire rig, but there's still quite a bit to cover if you guys want to stick around, or if that's all you wanted, yeah, that's great then. But so anyway, we have that all rigged up, but when we bend the arm, it's bending the wrong way. So we can go and click this checkbox over here, and that's going to switch the orientation. So I'm going to click that, and now it's facing the right way. So that is pretty dang easy. So now what we're going to do is there's this box called IK and FK. We're working with inverse kinematics, but if we're not, we can actually just change the rotation like this, which is forward kinematics, which is kind of how we went over, which can be fun for some kind of animation, but it's a little bit more time consuming, so I'm not going to mess with it today. So let's click our FK or our IK, and that's inverse kinematics, so we can just move this controller and it'll follow and bend accordingly based on some crazy math expressions. So anyway, now that I've talked for years, let's go and hide our torso. and just click in a little bit and then make our markers also visible. So now let's go and we've already done our front arm. Let's do our back arm. So do Command P to create the puppet pins, and we'll just create 3 points again. And this is a very quick process if you know what you're clicking. So as long as you guys are comfortable with it, we'll try to move a little bit faster. So now we have this back arm. So I'm going to do back arm 1, that's the shoulder. You got to click here, enter back arm 2, and then back arm 3. So we now have that all set up. Let's click our back arm 1, go and click bones, back arm 2, click bones, back arm 3, click bones. Scroll up in our layer panel, and then add 3 to 2 and 2 to 1. Grab your third controller here, or your third bone, and click a controller on. So now we have a controller where that third pin is, and click 3, 2, 1. Oh, 3, 2, 1 controller, and then do IK. So now we have another chain set up. So now if I move this controller, you'll see the arm is still bending wrong. So let's just click our checkbox and have it orientate. I don't know what that word is. Have it face or bend the right way. It's late. I'm blanking on words. Anyway, so now that we have those arms set up, let's actually just get these out of the way for a second. So I'm going to click all these red squares here, and first I'm going to hide them like that, and then I'm going to go and click this shy guy. So I'm going to click the shy, and now they're gone, and give us a little bit more room to work with because we're working in such a small space. So anyway, now we have the back arm set up, we have the front arm set up. Let's get the leg going, and then we'll jump to the cool stuff. So I'm going to click this front leg here, and this is going to be a little different. Let's first create a pin where the hip is going to be. So in the middle of that multiply circle, and then one for the knee, one for the ankle, and then one for the toes actually. So now we'll go in here and we'll just do the same thing. So I'm going to do front leg 1, so FL1, this is going to be FL2, this is going to be FL3, I said 3, and this is FL4. So with those set up, let's grab our pins, and create bones for each one. So FL2, FL3, and FL4. So now we have all those pins set up. Let's scroll to the top of our layer panel, and we'll do 4. It goes to 3, 3 goes to 2, and 2 goes to 1. So unlike the other one where we'd put a controller on the end null, we actually want it on the ankle, and I'll show you why. So let's click our ankle and make a controller, and then we're going to click our ankle, so 3, 2, 1, and our controller. We don't want to click the toe. We want to not include that in our IK chain. So let's click IK. So that's going to create our IK chain. You'll see our little gold has popped up. So now when I move this controller, the leg is going to bend. Now why we didn't include this last point in our IK chain is because now I can rotate my controller to bend the toe. So that is a nice little trick. So with that set up, let's grab all these red things and hide them, and then shy guy them as well. And let's do our other leg. So now we have our back leg. Where is it? I just called it back, that's right. So Command P for the puppet pin, puppet tool, and then we'll add a couple extra joints in here. So there we go. Let's toggle down, holding Command, click your twirl down, and we'll name all these. So this is going to be back leg 1, so that's the hip. This is going to be back leg 2, that should be the knee. This is back leg 3, that is going to be the ankle, and then this one is going to be back leg 4 for the toes. And then we'll click all these and add bones. I wish there was just a select all bone tool, but there's not. Maybe in a later update. I mean, he's giving it away for free, so that's pretty dang awesome. So now we have all these bones. Scroll to the top, 4 connects to 3, 3 connects to 2, 2 connects to 1, easy. We'll grab 3 and we'll make a controller because that's going to be our bending point. And then we'll grab 3, 2, 1, forget about the toes and click the controller and make an IK chain. And then we'll just test our chain real quick. Looks like it's working great. The toes bend, fantastic. So with that set up, let's actually grab these red ones right here. Hide them, and then shy guy them so they're out of our way. And now what we need to go do is get the torso set up. So the torso is a little bit more confusing. It's not too confusing, and you could actually animate like the tie if you wanted to, but this is why I started including the markers in my rigs. So when you grab the torso, let's do Command P and create a pin on each of these markers. So I'm going to add 4 pins, and they're going to be roughly at the same point as all these joints. And then in the middle of these 2 points at the bottom, I'm going to click one, and that's going to be our hips. I'm going to click one here for our belly, and then I'm going to click one here for our chest, and then one more at the top for his neck. So it's a little bit different, and this is what I found to just work the best. So we have a lot more pins than we did before, but they'll all serve a purpose. So on this first pin, this is going to be, I'm going to put T dash, this is going to be back hip. This one is going to be T dash front hip. This one right here is going to be T dash front shoulder. So I'll do FS. And then this one is going to be T dash back shoulder. And then we'll be to the normal one. So I'm going to call this one hip. I'm going to call this one belly. This one I'm going to call chest, and then this one I'm going to call neck. So I've been working on some projects where there's a lot of characters in a scene, and it can get really confusing if you don't name these right. So I'm kind of being lazy naming these, but be more descriptive if you're working with a lot of characters is my one little comment. That will probably be helpful. So it's nice to be able to see the red that the expressions are getting put on here, just so you have a visual cue that you're actually doing something with these bones. So I've added bones now to all my different pins. And on this section, we're actually going to be doing it a little bit different. Whoa, I'm trying to be to the top of everything. There we go. So what we're going to do is grab both of our hips, that are going to like these 2 side ones, and we're going to parent these to our hip, and then we're going to grab both our shoulders and parent this to our chest, and then we'll go normal. So our neck is going to connect to our chest is going to connect to our belly is going to connect to our hip, and then we're going to grab our chest and create a new controller. So you click a controller for the chest, and then you're going to grab the chest, the belly, the hip, and then the chest controller. So you have this little chain, and we're missing this front one, so we'll be able to bend it just like we would bend our toes. So don't grab the neck, and then we're going to click IK. So we're going to have a nice IK chain set up, and now we'll be able to bend the torso. So now that that's coming together, we have a couple more things to do. I'm going to grab all these little controllers and hide them, and then I'm going to Shy Guy them as well. What we need to do is rig up our eyes real quick. So what we have here is our eyes back, and we're going to duplicate this, Command D on your keyboard, drag them above your pupils, and then on your pupils, we're actually going to go over to our modes and change our track matte to alpha matte. So now if I drag my eyes out of the frame, they will disappear if the eyes aren't there. So that is a nice way to just kind of make some eyes moving. And then what we're going to do is, I guess I will just keep this normal. Well, you could like flip around stuff. I'm just going to parent everything here to the head. So I'll parent all of that to the head. And now if I move the head, just by rotating it like this, everything's going to move together, but I can still move it separately. So let me actually press Y for my pan behind and just put this right where his neck would be. And then I'm actually going to unshy my layers. And what we're going to have to do, this is going to get confusing on such a small screen, but on our head layer, so that everything's connected to, we're going to parent this head layer to our neck. So that's going to be up here. So you parent that to your neck. So why we did that now is if I were to move, if you can see in this tiny little screen, if I move my body, the head is going to travel with it. So, and I'll still be able to do all my animation. All right, so with that set up, what we're now going to do is keep rigging, I guess. So first what we're going to do is find our front arm one, which was right up top. We can't see it, but this was just our shoulder joint. So you're going to drag your front arm one. We're going to parent to our front shoulder. So that's a torso dash front shoulder. And then you're going to grab your back arm and you're going to parent this to our torso back shoulder. Easy. And then we're going to go to this would be our front leg. hip. So we're going to parent our front leg hip to our torso front hip, and then our back leg hip, we're going to parent to our torso back hip. Makes sense. So with that set up, we'll actually Shy Guys everything right now and just check that our rig is working so far. We still have a couple cool things to do, so I can move these legs around pretty easily. I should be able to move these arms and they bend right. Cool. And then if I move my torso, it all bends accordingly. So they're all connected. And at this point, I'm actually going to move up a little bit and we can unlock our markers and actually delete our markers. So that's cool. We already have a pretty decent rig, but we're going to take it a step farther today and put a couple extra controllers in that I kind of have figured out over the last month or two, and they seem to work really great for character animation. So first, let's do an eye controller. So I'm going to do Shift Command Y to create a new null, and I'm going to place this null right between the dude's eyes like this. And so what I'm now going to do is grab our pupil layer that has the alpha matte on our eyes back, and I'm going to call this null pupils, I guess in all capitals, and I'll grab my pupils and I'm going to parent this to my null object. So now I'll be able to move this null to control his eyes. So that is all set up. What we're now going to do is parent our pupils to our head. So now if I move my head, the pupils aren't going to drift around. And obviously I did not do a very good job with his torso. I didn't give him a neck, but you guys get the idea. And I'm sorry this is confusing, but this is advanced character rigging, and it's really not too bad once you kind of figure it out. Anyway, so let's create 3 more nulls, and I'll show you what each of these are, and these are kind of what I've figured out to be very helpful. So I'm going to create a null, and I'm actually going to put it at the floor down here, like almost out of the view, and I'll make this yellow just so we can see it better. So this null, I'm going to actually give a name. This null I'm going to call like ground, I guess, in all capitals, and then I'm going to grab my 2 feet and I'm going to parent this to the ground. So what this does is basically create a plane in which I can control these legs. So this is an easy way to kind of, let's say you already have this set up and you just want to control both at once, like a nice jump. So you'll be able to do this, and I'll show you that it's also helpful for another reason in just a second. I'm actually going to grab this front leg and put it behind my torso as well. So yeah, so now I can do this pretty easy instead of dragging both. So let's create one more null. Right here, I'm going to do Shift Command Y on my keyboard, and I'm going to put this null actually above him like this, and I'm going to call this one Sky. So on the sky layer, what we're going to do is grab his, what are we going to grab here? We need to grab his front arm, his back arm, his chest, and his we're actually going to have to go into our Shy Guy, and we're going to go and, still holding command, grab his main hip, so his torso hip right here, and then go back out of your, or then parent this. I'm sorry, I'm really trying to explain this. It's kind of difficult. So then you're going to parent all those, his chest controller, his hip, his back arm, and his front arm controller to his sky. And then you're going to unclick your Shy Guy. So it's, more real estate again. So now what happens is if I move my sky, his whole body's going to move. And this is why the ground is so helpful. And this is something I figured out. I don't know if this is like an industry thing or what, but I thought it was cool. I thought I came up with it. I can't guarantee it. But anyway, so now I can have this ground set where it's almost like a landing point. So you could hit the ground and do all kinds of cool animation like that. And then additionally, I can still use all these other controllers for that extra movement in between. So one thing, I created one other controller for all my rigs that is also very helpful, and this is called like a global controller. So even though I have all these controllers, if I was to scale this down, I would have to scale everything individually and the puppet pins would break, and it's pretty much just a mess. So create one more controller and just put this in like roughly the middle of the character. And I'm going to call this layer global. So I use this global one to position my character's first starting point as well as scale. So what you need to do for this is grab your sky and your ground, which are your two, you got to think of it in levels. So our first level controls are in here. Our second ones are our sky and ground, and then our sky and ground would obviously be connected to our global. So on this global one extra thing we're going to have to do is parent all of our objects, because we want to scale those down to our global controller. So you're going to have to grab all of your layers here, your actual objects like your torso and front leg and all that aren't already parented to something, and parent this to your global controller. So now I can scale down my global controller and everything will scale proportionally, which is very nice, and then I can also move it and position it as needed. So now that we have that rigged up, the only thing I'm going to do is keep my head available. So I'm going to select everything, F2 to unselect everything if I can, and I'm going to grab everything but my head here. So I'm going to grab my back leg, my torso, front arm, eyes, back, pupil, back arms, and hat, and I'm going to just Shy Guy them. Well, I tried to, but I missed, so let me try this one more time here. So click all those and Shy Guy them. So now we only have our character. So now let me put this onto full. And what I'm going to do is go into minimal, because now we have him all rigged up, and now we can kind of show him off for all his awesomeness. So now with all those controllers we made, we have created a super functional rig, and this one is like you can animate so much with it, spend more time, but as you can see I have legs I can animate perfectly. I have arms I can animate perfectly and they don't break. I have other arms I can animate. I have his torso I can animate, and all kinds of cool stuff you can do. And then I have his, what is this one? Oh, this is his eyes, so I can move around his eyes like he's looking at stuff. I have his ground. Where are you? So I have his ground, he can jump and do all kinds of stuff, and then I have his sky, so he can crouch down like a creeper and yeah, just do his thing. So in no time at all, I think this is pretty easy. We have created an advanced character rig that you can do tons of stuff with and really take your animations to the next level. Anyway, if you guys would like to see more interesting character animation, I have a couple other really cool techniques that I'd love to share. So if you guys like this video and would like to see more, leave me a comment, drop me a like, subscribe to the channel, and keep the channel going. If you guys can bear sitting through a 5-second commercial, just click the ad and then click away, and it'll give me 5 cents. So anyway, guys, thanks a lot for checking out Mograph. You guys are awesome, and I'll keep the videos coming. So yeah, get your learn on. See ya.